Hi, my name is Laura Lee Booth, and I want to talk to you about something real quickly about the subject of transition and changes. Now, if there's one thing about change, is that it's the only thing in the world that is not that is constant. It doesn't change. You are always going to go through change and transition. And before I start into that, I want to share with you kind of a funny story, uh, true, that happened to me. Several years ago, my husband and I we were renting this house that actually used to belong to my uncle, and we were renting this house, and we had come to the end of our lease, and he had wanted us to go ahead and buy the house. Well, we had never bought a home before, and mostly because we wanted to just be able to go wherever we needed to go without having anything holding us back. Back then, we did not even understand the value of home ownership or owning property. But I am the author of Harebrained Ideas, and so I told my husband, I said, since we don't want to sign a lease right now, and we don't feel the necessity to buy a house, why don't we move into our fifth wheel? Now, we had bought this fifth wheel um, because we worked with the youth, and every year we would have a Christmas tree stand, a huge Christmas tree stand. It was our largest fundraiser by far for the entire year. And so but we had to stay close to this Christmas tree stand to keep an eye on it at night. And so we bought this fifth wheel and we would put it out there. So I told my husband, why don't we just move into this fifth wheel? I said, I'm short. The boys are little. I don't remember how old they were at the time. I guess they were 7 and 8 at the time. They were little. And I said, you're not that tall either. So let's just move into the fifth wheel. Well, so all of a sudden, he couldn't believe that I had even suggested it, but he took me up on it, and we decided to put everything that we had in storage, which some friends of ours allowed us to put everything that we owned in their garages, and and we moved into the fifth wheel, and they also allowed us to put the fifth wheel on their piece of property. And so our little boys, they had so much fun. They just thought that they were camping every day. And so sometime in that transition period, little Leroy, who was 8 at the time, got very sick, and without sounding too gross, yeah, you watch TV, he had diarrhea, so he got really sick. And so one night my husband and I were arguing about something. I know you probably never fight with your husband or wife, but we were arguing about something, and we were not talking to each other. You know what I mean? The silent treatment where you just totally ignore like the other person's not there. But it's very hard to get mad at someone and be in a fight with them when you're cooped up in this tiny little fifth wheel. There's no place to go. And so we were in this argument, and we were getting ready for bed, and it was late at night. It was like 12:30 in the morning. And so I'm laying in bed, and I'm just eating sunflower seeds, and I'm trying to eat them as loud as I could because he's trying to watch TV. So I'm just being ornery, and I'm just trying to eat these sunflowers and cracking them. And so he got up and went to use the restroom. Well, something happened, and the toilet wouldn't work. So he gets out of bed, and I'm just gloating because now he's got to fix a toilet at 12:30 in the morning, and I'm just, I'm happy that he's having to go through that. So I'm still sitting there ignoring him, acting like I don't see what's happening. And so he gets down there. He ends up having to unscrew the commode from the base of the commode, and takes it off and starts working on it. And again, it's 12:30 in the morning on a Saturday night, and so there he is working on it. And all of a sudden, you hear this clink, and I thought, oh my gosh, I think I know what that sound was. And I looked over at him, just moving my eyes. I looked over, and he was staring down into that hole, down into that black hole. And he looked up at me and just kind of not smiling. And I looked at him, and then all of a sudden he kind of made it look like, uh-oh. And so I still was gloating because he was going to have to do something about that. Well, we couldn't put the toilet seat back on until it had that nut had just fallen down into the commode into. And by the way, we hadn't dumped it yet. Seriously. I just finished telling this whole story. My thing just cold and crashes down. That's great.